The 2026 offseason begins today, and we don't have a great score. It looks like our budget was cut. What was our budget last year? 212. Yep. So some budget cuts. A team payroll around 80K or 80 mil. That's bad. That's really low. That means free agents are not very plausible. Kenley Jansen retired. He finishes with 471 career saves. This is his Hall of Fame case. He might be. I doubt it, though. The end of the year top prospects. We have the 12th best farm system. Given that is salary arbitration day, it is time for us to offer contracts. The first person we are going to look at is Bryce Elder. And what are we going to do? If we can't offer him a contract, what should we do? We should try and trade him away. Holy cow. They'll give us Hurston Waldrop? Absolutely. Alright. This is an entirely wild trade, but I will be trading Bryce Elder to the Brewers for Hurston Waldrop. That's wonderful. I mean, we have a lot of pitchers with low control, like sub 50 control, who might walk plenty of people. But we're giving up a guy who I wasn't planning on having even on our Major League roster next year, who is in arbitration years, for Hurston Waldrop. So absolutely I will complete this trade in a heartbeat. That takes care of one arbitration case. Christopher Sanchez is hard. That's a difficult decision. But oh boy. Yeah, I'm sorry, Christopher Sanchez, I'm not offering you that. I'm just gonna go into arbitration and so there are cheats on this. Like if you offer a certain amount, I think it's 95%, it will, like as a contract extension, it will automatically accept it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to offer him $5.9 million for next year. Jordan Leisure, he's a guy that I will go. He wants, 90% of ARB. There you go. One more year of Jordan Leisure in the closer spot. CJ Abrams. Let's try and avoid arbitration with him. 3.66. And Gabe Arias. I don't want him. What am I going to do? I'm going to trade him. Like I said, if I don't want him, I trade him. We're going to ship Gabriel Arias off for Juaron Watts-Brown. He's a captain. Again, control issues might be better suited in the bullpen, but at this point we're getting rid of Gabriel Arias, who's going into more money arbitration time. And we don't have more money to give in arbitration. We will also be saying goodbye to Chris Paddock. He wasn't bad for us this year. We got him in a minor league deal. The bummer was that I wasn't able to trade him at the trade deadline in time. That's what I wish had happened, but we used him for, 125 innings. He was helpful to the team. He, pitched some time for us. That was the main thing he brought. But we will be saying goodbye to him. And most likely, we'll be saying goodbye to Keston Hiura as well. No, I'm not submitting Chris Paddock a qualifying offer of $19 million. So Drew Thorpe I had an idea of getting rid of him throughout the season when I would bring him up and he would just get shelled for a bunch of home runs. my thing is, if I'm looking at my future and I'm looking at what other future talents I have, Drew Thorpe, he just doesn't do it for me. I know he had a good rookie year. If you look at this, the home run issue was still there, but he had a good rookie year. And then I sent him back down and he was meh. That home run issue was still very glaring and apparent. And, we'll see. We got Hurston Waldrop now. We've got Chase Dollander. We've got Jairo Iriarte. We've got young guys to play that spot that Drew Thorpe was potentially filling. And then we've got people in our minor leagues who will do that. So I can trade for this guy, a power batting, probably a third baseman. And maybe we can have Colson Montgomery play short. Here's what we're starting out with at the development lab. Crochet looks to improve his control. I'll probably take him out of this, actually. Switch him out for a younger prospect. Just to help. I mean, this whole development lab is to help people reach their potential. And he's already at 40, and that's his top potential, so it'd be better used on a guy like Dax Hardcastle or, Blaine Metz to help with their control. Here are the guys. Dylan Cruz, we're going to try and get his power up. Edgar Cuero, we're going to look to get his catcher fielding up. Jairo Iriarte. I thought about looking at his control, but that fragile injury proneness is really concerning, which is why I'm looking to improve his strength and conditioning. Alexis Ochoa, he's struggling in gap power with the rest of the stuff. Might as well work on that, since it's easier than all these other guys. Noah Schultz, again, strength and conditioning, and Suarez to improve his control. As you can see, I'm doing some canvassing, looking at trade proposals, that kind of thing. This is one I thought about, trying to get Kyber Ruiz potentially off of our roster, which I feel weird saying about because we just traded for him last year. We would get this guy in return. He's not very good, but it's worth a try. Another thing I thought about doing is trading Christopher Sanchez, which I feel weird about saying because he's really been one of our MVPs so far this series. Also, Gold Gloves are today. Former White Sox Eric Fetty wins one. Here are your AL Gold Gloves. We didn't win any. And your NL Gold Gloves. Looks like a nice wide array of teams. The reliever of the year is out. Josh Hader is your winner. Looks like he had surgery to remove bone chips at the end of the season. He had 37 saves, 1.5 WAR, 13.4 Ks per 9. He's looking like he could become a Hall of Fame closer if he keeps on this pace. Edwin Diaz was my vote. If you look at this stat line, those 100 Ks were what really intrigued me. You really could be right with either one of them. What's interesting is that Sean Armstrong got the most first place votes, which is weird. Something about the voting this year feels a little weird, this OOTP season. And here is your NL reliever of the year, David Bednar. Looks like his teammate got the second most first place votes. And Clay Holmes, who is now getting Tommy John, comes in third. Here are your Silver Sluggers. Surprise, surprise. Actually, a slight surprise. We did not have any Silver Sluggers this year. I was intrigued. Maybe a designated hitter might be somebody we have in the future. But I don't see us having a second baseman better than Jackson Holliday. We could beat Rafi Devers, but this season was fantastic. 6.8 WAR. I mean, I think he actually had a triple crown. So he could win MVP. Here are your NL Silver Sluggers. Brett Beatty continues to be fantastic in this save. This was our shot at winning an award, and we did. Samuel Zavala is the 2026 Rookie of the Year. You guys know his stat line. He was fantastic. He absolutely deserved it. And guess what? We have him locked up until 2037. Maybe the series won't even be over in 2037. And JJ Weatherholt is the NL Rookie of the Year. Do we have anybody else? Jairo Iriarte gets some votes. That's definitely a deserving season. Scott Servais wins the AL Skipper of the Year, and Dave Roberts wins the NL Manager of the Year. Cy Young awards are in. Corbin Burns wins in the AL with George Kirby coming in second. Voting looks like this. And in the NL, Jacob Misioriowski wins. Paul Skeens comes in second, but full sweep. Unanimous. It's unanimous. Unanimous. In his second year in the league, wins the Cy Young. And your 2026 NL MVP is Michael Harris. Unanimous. It's his first MVP. And in the AL, it is Rafael Devers. Jackson Holliday comes in second. Julio Rodriguez comes in third. And Samuel Zavala gets some votes. That's great. I'm doing something risky. I'm trading Christopher Sanchez, who has been a staple of our team for the 3 years that I've had him. In his time with us, he has made 89 starts for 4.03 ERA, 7.4 WAR. He has absolutely been a staple of this team. He was one of our all-stars last year. But we are getting Kobe Mayo in return, and Kobe Mayo is very good at baseball. He will be our third baseman, and in a straight-up one-for-one trade, we traded a 29-year-old who was in his arbitration years, and we get a 24-year-old, 25-year-old, the number 19 prospect in the league. We continue our off-season moves with a very interesting trade. I talked about it. I brought up doing it. And it is trading Kyber Ruiz back to the Los Angeles Dodgers for Zach Thornton. A 24-year-old starting pitcher, minor league pitcher depth. And we are hopefully getting accepted as... Nope. We are retaining 20% of Kyber Ruiz's contract and giving away Dominic Fritton and Jonathan Stever. Fritton we drafted in the 9th round in 2024. He was pretty good in low A ball. Well, gave up a lot of home runs. Okay, he wasn't great in low A ball. We get Zach Thornton. He'll probably go in double A. Again, he'll be organizational depth. And we'll see, hopefully, maybe he can develop a little more. And in that same swift move, we get rid of Kyber Ruiz, who we would have for all these years, and who wouldn't really play on our roster very much. It is time for another trade. I am giving up Hunter Owen. I know it's weird saying, but he's 25. Those avoid Ks are really hurting him, and his powers might go. His power might go up to a 70, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't This is a gut play right here. Also, Ceddanne Rafaela, also a gut play. I'm going just off my gut here. And my gut is telling me to trade Hunter Owen and Ceddanne Rafaela and Luis Pulido. And some guy named Steven Flores as well. In return, I get Mason Hughes. Will probably be a second baseman. Anthony Solimento, a left-handed pitcher. AAA depth. And then Max Williams, a right fielder, probably a left fielder. And he will go straight to A-ball. I believe he was 7th round pick in 2025. So we're just going to go ahead, complete trade. This is one of those trades that I'm iffy on, but I'm kind of glad I'm getting done. Moving on from Hunter Owen is a good idea in my mind. That avoid Ks at 40 is really concerning. And he hit mediocrely in his 2025 season, but absolutely did not hit well in his 2026 season. He struck out 165 times in 91 games. That's awful. And so we'll be moving on. Free agents have filed, and it looks like the top free agent is Max Fried. Bunch of pitchers. Luis Robert, now a free agent. He had a decent season with Washington. And who'd we get in return for him? Dylan Cruz and Kevin Made. Yeah. They get, what, half a season of Luis Robert, and we get Dylan Cruz? Absolutely, I will take that in an instant. I guess we will become the retirement home Chicago White Sox, like where people come to retire. The Chicago White Sox. That is just fine by me for a little bit, until we're good. I am fine with Luis Arias as a minor league free agent. Oh God, he was awful last year. Okay, now I see why he's a minor league free agent. Huh. I could. I might. I will. I am gonna offer Luis Arias a minor league deal. I offered Luis Rengifo a minor league deal. Could offer Graham Ashcraft a minor league deal. There are some interesting names. It is the 2026 Hall of Fame voting day, highlighted by Joe Mauer and Buster Posey in his first year. I have another trade lined up. I am trading away Edinson Duran, who we claimed from the Yankees. He looks like he might be a pretty good catcher. CJ Culpepper, who we got in a trade for Thomas Szapucki. A few minor league relievers. And Albertson Asigan. In return, we get Sean Sullivan. Looks like his main weakness is going to be the home runs, but again, borderline starter, kind of Culpepper-ish. I wonder if I take Culpepper out of here. Okay. We'll do this instead. Edinson Duran, Oscar Hernandez, Luke Bell, Albertson Asigan, for Ronan Kopp, Foolish Bailey legend, Jake Clemente, a reliever, and then third baseman Travis Sanders. Hit complete. And we have some more minor league depth. In another move to kind of clean up our 40-man roster, I'm trading Alex DeJesus, who I claimed off waivers from Toronto earlier last season. He looks like he'll be a good player. Maybe he'll get some major league time. Once again, that 40 avoid Ks, 161 strikeouts in 119 games. It's not going to work for me. The tipping point, they also get Arxie Hernandez. And in return, we get Alexander Ramirez, some minor league depth, and Josua Lugo. It looks like he was an international signing by the Dodgers, maybe? Angels. So we are getting some more depth. The Rule 5 draft is today. I'm slightly concerned we're going to lose some play, and we immediately lost Edward Cabrera. You know, if he was on our team, he would have been in the bullpen, so it's an interesting... We might get him returned to us. Who knows? We'll see. He's outspoken, though. Okay, we don't lose anybody else. Nobody else. We lost Luis Rengifo, who we signed to a minor league deal. Okay. I hope the rest of the draft doesn't look like this. Okay, who do they want us to take? We don't need a third baseman. We don't need to look at just pitchers either. The last three Rule 5 drafts I've made, or the last 2 Rule 5 drafts I've made selections. This one I am the most on the fence about making a selection. This guy looks like he could be good. Just kind of infield help. Highest he got was AA. We'll keep an eye on him. Infield depth would be the main thing I would look to get out of this draft. Denzer Guzman could be good. The highest he went is AA, though. Again, there are risks involved with all these players. Dinelson Lamet, Cy Young, top 10 voter is there. My 40-man's full. I'm skipping this pick. And we lost Yordani Monegro, which is a bummer. Because I was excited. I mean, we claimed him off waivers, but he looked like he was going to be very good. And we also lose Emmett Sheehan. Hopefully these guys get returned to us at some point. We're going to keep skipping. Hope we don't lose any. And we lose Misael Urbina. So far we've lost 5 players in this Rule 5 draft. I think that's a testament to us at the same time as it is something that sucks. Let's keep going. Holy cow, 7 rounds of the Rule 5 draft? 8 rounds this draft goes. And we lose 5 players from it. That is more than enough. I've signed a few minor league free agents. Graham Ashcraft is one of them. Extreme ground ball pitcher, 70 stamina. He looks pretty good. Might be an option if people get injured. Luis Arias. A minor league deal. With a major league option given. He's still... I mean, he was... You look at these stats, those aren't very good stats for this year. For last year, I mean. But if he's in our minor league organization and he comes up and he is good, there's more to gain than there is to lose, really. We have made the first few international free agent signings. Vincent Castaneda. He looks to be a pretty well-rounded power bat, will most likely be a left fielder. I'm going to put him there, and now he's a 4-star prospect. So, sign him. We also sign Ernesto Aguilar. Will also probably be a left fielder. Doubt he'll turn in. He's also a 4-star prospect. So we get 2 4-star prospects for under $1 million combined. And Hall of Fame votes are out. Andrew Jones gets dropped off the ballot. This is what it looks like. Carlos Beltran gets close to making it, as does CC Sabathia and Joe Mauer. But nobody makes it this year. I've made another signing. This time it's a catcher. I signed him for $500,000. Jorge Leanos from Venezuela. Looks to be pretty good fielding catcher. His issues, he's a ground ball hitter, but he looks pretty good. So, signed him for not a lot, and I am also now in a bidding war for Ryan Presley. I'm not bidding much, but I'm offering him $5.5 million, which is more than I offered for Kenley Jansen last year. It'll be interesting to kind of see how it goes. Also, Ernesto Aguilar, our signing, looks to be fantastic. His numbers were way better than what our scout thought, and way better than what OSA thinks. So that's a double thumbs up for us. I have signed Mauricio Magdaleno. He is a reliever from the Dominican Republic. I'm going to request a scouting report for him. He looks to be pretty good, pretty exciting. So we will keep an eye on him. In other things, Ryan Presley is leaning towards us. Also, the starting pitcher, I've made offers on 2 starting pitchers, and Alvaro Ayala once more. This means that I'll probably remove my offer from Jesus Cerda and offer more to Ayala. I'll offer Ayala $2 million, and looks like I'm going to lose Juan Villarreal, which is a bummer because he looked like he was going to be really good. But it's fine, there are other options. I will be just fine. Ryan Presley, if I can get him down, I'm not going anything more than 7,500. But Ryan Presley added. Villarreal signs with Milwaukee. Looks like we're getting pushed up on Juan Estea. Gonna offer him $300K. Jesus Cerda signs with St. Louis. And hopefully we get Ayala and Estea at this point. We're going to lose Ayala, and we're going to lose Presley. Both to the Dodgers. Both for a lot more money. That's a bummer. Alright, time to figure out a new starting pitcher to go for. There aren't really any. I mean, this guy would be yeah. Now we look for backup options. Connor McLagain. No, let's go under 1.5 mil for K9. Hey, he looks pretty good. And maybe Jesus Vargas will take another. Nope. Okay, no Jesus Vargas. We're offering him a contract. We could make a small offer to Alejandro Duenas. $300K. Jordan Leisure. His home run allowed goes up. That's a great update. Matt Olson's stuff goes down. That makes him less attractive to me. Mason Fluharty's movement potential goes up. Chase Dollander's stuff and stamina potentials go down. TJ Brock becomes a better pitcher. Colson Montgomery becomes a better hitter. That's awesome. Ayala doesn't go with the Dodgers. He goes with Minnesota. That means the Dodgers are going to be sweeping in on our negotiations soon. We sign McLagain, and we'll add him to our top prospects. He looks like he might be our top catching prospect. He looks really good. Magdaleno looks like he's going to be a better reliever than we thought. We sign Juan Estea. That $750,000 offer really was the tipping point. we're going to slide him over to first base where he becomes a 5-star prospect. Most likely he will be a third baseman, first baseman, or a DH if he makes it to the majors. And he is much better than we thought he was going to be. 60 contact, 65 power, 50 gap power, 50 eye. We've had a successful international free agent group. Hopefully we sign Duenas and it's all done with. There we go. We signed Duenas. And it's all done with. I have completed some programs. Caleb Danzason does not get better at stealing. In fact, all of his ratings have gone down. And he is looking not good. Santiago Suarez, on the other hand, did great. His control went up from a 65 potential with 60 current control, or with 55 current control, to 60 current control and 70 potential. He's looking like a potential next year starting pitcher, which is great. Noah Schultz, no improvement on strength and conditioning. Here's what he's looking like right now. Wow, he got better. It looks like his movement went up. His stuff went up. And he got to working on those fly balls, which is great. Alexis Ochoa, no improvement. His potential contact went down. His potential power went down. He's still the number 47 prospect. Jairo Iriarte, no strength and conditioning improvement. His ratings look pretty much the same, except his stuff goes down, which is a bummer, but I could kind of see that happening. They can go back up. It's not a huge deal. Dylan Cruz improves his power, and his gap power gets that up to a 50, so he's 50s up and down the board, except for 55 eye. And he's a good fielder, so hopefully it means he'll be a little bit better for us. He's in his arbitration years now, which is really weird to say, but he is in his arbitration years, which means relatively soon it will be make or break for him. And, you know, we gave away Luis Robert for him, so it was no longer with the team we traded him to. He signed with the Cubs in the offseason. He's back in Chicago. I signed a bunch of people to minor league deals. Probably way too many people to minor league deals. Including Matt Chapman. He probably has the best chance of making our opening day roster. Akil Baddoo is another person that has a chance, maybe. Brandon Bielak, less of a chance. In fact, I'm just going to keep him in AA as of right now. Who can I send down who probably shouldn't be in spring training? Ryan Burrows. He'll go back down to high A. No, he was in AA. He'll go back down to AA. Here is our here is our spring training roster. You'll notice I made a bunch of minor league free agent potential major league free agent signings. Luis Arraez is one of them. Kevin Biggio, Candelario, and Chapman are some other ones. Akil Baddoo and Hunter Brown and Eric Fetty are two more. Overall, some highlights of this roster. Santiago Suarez, excited about him. Christian Serta is now battling for what was Pablo Aliendo's spot. He is once again a question mark. Edgar Cuero pretty much has his spot locked. Looking at who might be playing second base, who's playing third base, who's playing shortstop, and who's playing DH. Braden Montgomery looks like he might be a lock for the team. It's all kind of up in the air. Got another smaller trade. Trading Matt Chapman, who was looking to make our opening day roster, along with Alexis Santillan for Cody Schreier. 4th round pick in 2024, and Brock Freidenberg, 3rd round pick of the 2023 draft. It is now opening day, and I have my opening day roster set up. Our ace, Garrett Crochet, kind of knew that was going to happen. Jairo Iriarte is our 2 spot. Noah Schultz is our 3 pitcher. Chase Dollander at 4. Adam Kloffstein at 5. You will see that we had a bunch of injuries. Hurston Waldrop would have been in our starting rotation, but he is out with a fractured shoulder blade. Ian Hamilton would have been our setup guy. Forearm inflammation. Gabriel Hughes potentially could have made the opening day roster. Torres UCL is getting Tommy John. And Colson Montgomery got hit in the hand and now has a broken hand. So, our opening day roster is made up of different people than I would have expected. I will throw Mason Fluharty in at the stopper role. I will also put him as a specialist. Here is our bullpen. Jordan Leisure, who had a rough spring, is still our closer. And here are our starting lineups versus right-handers. Here are our batting lineups versus right-handers. Araya is leading off, then Zavala, Ramos, Montgomery, Mayo, and then the bottom of the order. Here's how we line up versus righties. I'm actually going to switch Marcy, and Barossa, just for the contact sake. But here is how we are lining up versus lefties. Preseason predictions are in, and we are predicted to go 68 and 94. I wonder if that has something to do with the fact that we have a bunch of injuries and our starting rotation is not all what they expected it to be. And we also sent down and released guys like Biggio and Estrada and even Dylan Cruz, Wade Meckler, guys who I'm sure the CPU would have liked on our team, but I'm not interested in having them on our team. Here's what the predictions look like in the AL. We have no top batters, but we do have a potential top pitcher. He's projected to go 13 and 13. And here are your NL predicted standings. Find it interesting that the Dodgers are predicted to be 3rd. Your top hitters. Jesse Franklin IV is projected to be a top hitter. That's incredibly weird to me, but you know. I guess. I don't know, that doesn't seem all that realistic to me. But here you have it. And here are your beginning of the year prospect ratings. Noah Schultz is bumped up to number 8 in the country. He will start on our Major League roster. Juan Arroyo, who is in our Dominican League, is number 37th. He looks like he's going to be really good. A center fielder. Braden Montgomery, again, starting on our Major League roster, starting in everyday DH. Alexis Ochoa in our Dominican League. And Roussel Shepard, last year our first round draft pick. He will start in the ACL. Okay, here's our top prospects list. Here are the guys who are in the major leagues. We can take Mason Adams off of that. And Dominic Fritton. Here are the guys who are in the major leagues. Christopher Torin, again, made our major league roster. He was not somebody we ever drafted. He was actually somebody we traded along with as part of the Gavin Sheets and Nick Nastrini trade. That at this point in time looks like a massive win of a trade. But we will see how it continues to go. Here are how the other guys are doing. Travis Smith is a name to look at. Be on the lookout for. Tanner McDougal is definitely a name to be on the lookout for. Look at those pitches. He was a guy I was seriously considering putting on our short list for AAA, kind of a starting pitcher in AAA. But I wanted to get Peyton Pallette in there because he had plenty of time in AA last year and did well. So here is kind of how our top prospects look. Hopefully some of these guys in rookie ball get moved up at some point. We just have such full rosters with lots of talent on them. So maybe we'll be able to move a guy like Daniel Lara up. Maybe we'll move a guy like Alexis Ochoa up. As you can see, his potential is going down a little bit, which is concerning. But you don't want to rush a guy, so we'll see how it goes.